Hello and welcome to another episode of the NBA 2K podcast. I am your host, Rib. And, NBA 2K25, I know that's what everybody's waiting for, and not too much longer to go now. We're almost in August. It is almost that time. You should see a gameplay trailer, I'm going to say, in the next 7 days. You'll probably see one. You're going to see Mike Wang, the game director, come out of hibernation on social media, and it's gonna steamroll from there, and we'll get to see all the goodies that everybody's waiting for. To which many people will be upset, and many will be, I guess, excited. I think mostly people will be upset, just because that's usually how year to year, how the community handles releases, and I can't really fault the community for being so negative. I understand. But I had to make a podcast, and I didn't just want to make one about, information that you might not care about. So I did a little bit of research here, and what do you know? The New York Times, you may have read this already, a few days ago, released an article on microtransactions, and it involves sports games like Madden, AFC, and of course NBA 2K is there. And seeing as this is an NBA 2K podcast, we're going to look into that on the NBA 2K front. So I have not read this yet. I've saved it for the pod. So I'm going to read it now, and then we'll discuss. So this was published on the 22nd. And it says, the video game NBA 2K24 lets fans play as their favorite basketball stars. It's $70, but there's pressure to spend more. Now, before I continue, if you do want to read this, I will post a link, of course, in the description, as I usually do with anything I talk about on the pod. To be competitive online, players are encouraged by packs that may contain an elite athlete. They cost up to $50. So this has to do with the My Team side of the game, where microtransactions are at their peak. And speaking of, the article goes on to say, microtransactions are pervasive in sports games and are big business for studios, which use the same techniques as casinos. So if you've never been to a casino, the house always wins. So what that means is you might play, right? You might play, I don't know, $100 at the casino. And you might win some. You're mostly going to lose, right? Maybe you're like lucky and you win. But if you do win big, it just means that somebody else had to lose a lot and you got lucky. So my time at the casino, you see people that, I think there's a term for this, but I don't recall. You see people that hop machines, slots specifically. If you stay at a slot for like 20, 30 minutes and then you leave because you didn't win anything, somebody else will jump in and they might spend, a fraction of what you spent, and they might win some because, there's been that much time without the machine giving out a reward. Does that make sense? So casinos are obviously a place where a lot of people lose money, and I'm not talking about blackjack or poker. We're talking about the slots, the roulettes, the little games that you have where you see the little icons and you gotta match them all up, because that's a game of chance completely. Right? There is no way to rig the system, and the only halfway is what I just mentioned, where people hop machine to machine trying to find the machine that's been losing the most so that they feel like they have a better chance at winning. And in 2K terms, you see people spend hundreds, maybe thousands of dollars on packs with the hope that even if they don't get anything out of the first 100 packs, maybe the 101st will give them something, and then they can feel like, at least they got something. Anyway, moving on. On the article here, it says, In-game sales generate about 80% of revenue for the publisher of NBA 2K and Grand Theft Auto. Think 4.2 billion US dollars. So, in-game sales generate about 80% of revenue for 2K. All right, let's think about that for a second. That is almost entirely the revenue from NBA 2K is microtransaction based. A basketball game. It's I don't even know if that is like including the entire game mode, like my career microtransactions, or just my team. But regardless, it says let's read the rest of the article here, because I feel like maybe I should do that before I go into talking. The price tag on the cover of most sports video games is only the beginning of what players are being asked to pay. The genre is teeming with microtransactions and in-game purchases that tantalize those who want to be competitive during online matches in the most popular and robust game modes. Rare cards of the most coveted players are hidden in packs acquired using in-game currency, which can be slowly earned by playing or bought with real-world money. Now, 2K's 2K, I think, is the only NBA 2K, the game, the basketball game, is the only game right now that does not have an auction house, which prevents people from buying players with real world money. Right, so in a way, you're still spending real world money because you're using real money to buy fake money to then buy the card. Which, as before, or if you play other sports games, there are black market sites basically where you can buy fake money or buy players for cheaper, because you're not supposed to. It's against the rules. If you get caught, you're gonna get banned. And I guess I don't know if NBA 2K was losing so much money that's the reason why they removed the auction house. I don't think so. And the reason I don't think so is because FIFA, or EAFC, is the biggest sports game by far, and their auction house is intact, and so are their black markets. There are top FC content creators that actually have sponsorships with these markets where people can buy players or money for cheap real money. Anyway, let's move on. A soccer fan. In the same story in NBA 2K24, whose My Team mode requires players to shell out for card packs to build a team with the likes of Kevin Durant or Luka Doncic. The extortions to spend can feel like being in a casino. Upon starting NBA 2K24, players are immediately overwhelmed with opportunities to buy new items in limited edition packs. Opening them is designed to be compelling aesthetically. Rather than simply revealing their contents, the packs explode and scatter, accompanied by intricate animations and sound effects meant to dazzle. So, before I continue reading, even though I said I was going to read the whole thing, I think it's better that I read in paragraphs, actually, so I'm going to do that. And I apologize if you don't like that. From somebody that plays a lot of 2K, and knows a lot of content creators that play a lot of My Team only, this whole thing of aesthetics and whatnot I don't think that is meant to affect the everyday player, because if there was an option to skip that animation, I think most people would do that. I know FIFA has skip animations, NHL has skip animations. 2K does not let you skip the animation. So they want you to, the cards are revealed with the back, and you have to flip them. And then if it's a good card, you go through the whole animation and you can't skip it, which I find that more annoying than I do satisfying. It's not aesthetic in any way, really. It's not The packs do explode and scatter and whatnot, but it doesn't feel intricate and it doesn't dazzle. I'm not like amazed when I look at it. Honestly, the FIFA's pack openings to me is a lot better. It has a lot more detail, and it has little surprises when you get the the 2-player packs. So in FIFA, if you only play NBA 2K, think of it like this: you open a pack and you get a Wembanyama. That's that the best Wembanyama. Now imagine that you get a second player in that pack. It's also revealed in the animation, but as like a surprise second player that comes into like daps up Wemby in the screen, right? FIFA does that. FIFA actually has the intricate animations where, depending on the player, and what kind of player, what theme, there's different music and styles, and I do like the aesthetics way more there. I think they matter way more there than they do in 2K. But moving on. The game is constantly presenting you with, say, a special LeBron James card. You can only get him for 1 week. He's only available in such and such pack, and the chances of you getting him are absolutely astronomical, said Jordan Middler, a critic for Video Games Chronicle. They allow you to not spend money just to say that they can, but it's completely unavoidable. Virtual trading cards are incredibly lucrative for the publishers 2K and EA, which uses them in soccer games, the FC, the Madden games, and now the college football game, which also has the whole card mode. Take-Two Interactive, the parent company of 2K and Rockstar Games, which makes GTA, said in a financial statement that MTX, microtransactions, made up 79% of its revenue last fiscal year, which is about $4.2 billion, as we said earlier. NBA 2K23 and 24 were among the largest contributors. Over the same time frame, MTX accounted for 73% or $5.6 billion of revenue for EA, which also publishes The Sims and Apex Legends. A representative from 2K declined to comment. EA said that MTX were optional and helped pay for the content updates that audiences now expect regularly. Okay, so let's break that down a little bit for people that may not understand. So a fiscal year is a 1-year period that companies and governments use for financial planning and budgeting. So, for example, the U.S. government's fiscal year starts October 1st and ends September 30th. I'm not exactly sure what the fiscal year for 2K would be, but I'm assuming it would be from game release to I don't know. Would it to August? I'm not sure. I'm sure there's a paper somewhere that says what the fiscal year is. Let me see here. So I am reading the Take-Two Interactive Software report results for the fourth quarter and the fiscal year of 2024. I will post this link in the description. So 1.35 billion fourth quarter net bookings with outperformance in NBA 2K24. In-app purchases led by Toon Blast and Match Factory, the Red Dead Redemption series, and the GTA series. 5.33 billion fiscal year 2024 net bookings. Company gives initial outlook for fiscal 2025, including net bookings of 5.5 to 5.65 billion. So they're looking to actually make even more money for next year. Take-Two Interactive reported on May 16th of this year the result for the fourth quarter and fiscal year 2024, which ended March 31st of this year. We concluded fiscal 2024 with strong fourth quarter results, including a net bookings of 1.35 billion, which exceeded the high end of our guidance range. Many of our key franchises outperform, including 2K24 and every other game I've mentioned. Strauss Zelnick, if you've listened to the pod, I think I've mentioned him last season, which would be last 2K. Reddit, the subreddit, mentions him quite a bit. He is the chairman and CEO of Take-Two. He got a new contract, I think, 2 years ago or so. He's been doing very well because of the microtransactions. We believe that our company is poised to achieve new levels of success, and we expect to deliver sequential growth in net bookings for fiscal 25, 26, and 2027. As we deliver our pipeline, we are confident that we will drive our scale, enhance our margins, and deliver industry-leading returns for our shareholders. So, they're not supposed to be like, we are bleeding too much money from our customers and we should actually slow down. They're never going to say any of that. None of this is developers' fault, right? I don't want, if I can help it for the handful of listeners, don't go and blame developers. It doesn't make any sense to do that, right? This is the people above that handle this stuff, that make this stuff happen. Developers are just getting paid to do what they're told to do. If you're getting paid well to develop games and you love the games that you develop, you just kind of you take the good and you take the bad. And if I was a developer, as much as it would pain me, if I'm getting paid and I have all these benefits and I'm providing for my family, it's not my place to get into an uproar about why are we doing this? Why are we developing the my team packs this way? It's not my place. And if I get fired, they're gonna get somebody else to do it, right? If I take the high road, the moral high road where I lose my job, somebody else is just gonna end up doing it. Hey 2K community, are you a competitive player who likes money? Prove it on Gamer Saloon, the ultimate arena for NBA 2K players. Whether you're a pro or just starting out, Gamer Saloon lets you challenge players from around the world and win real cash prizes. So no more playing 1v1s to brag about it. Now you can get paid for winning. Gamer Saloon offers a seamless platform with various tournaments and head-to-head matches, perfect for every level of player. Listeners of the NBA 2K podcast can sign up today at gamersaloon.com/ribpodcast. All one word, gamersaloon.com/ribpodcast. Link in the description. And the only way, and this was seen when Battlefront 2, EA's Battlefront 2 released, the only way is with a complete apocalyptic level riot from a gaming community where they go to social media like Reddit, Twitter, they complain until there's no complaining left, and they don't buy the game, right? If you get to a point, so if you don't know EA's Battlefront story, when they released the game, there were characters that were locked behind paywalls and thousands of hours of playtime, and there were community members and EA community, what would you say, the Reddit people, like managers, they were going back and forth, and EA was saying that something about it gives people an opportunity to feel like they're achieving something along those lines. I don't remember exactly what was said. It's the most downvoted post of all time on Reddit. I remember reading that the company lost money. Shareholders lost money because of that game's release and the rioting that ensued online. That's how you make a change, because the game they were forced to make changes for the betterment of the community and I guess the shareholders at that point. So it's not impossible for the community to be loud and to make changes. It's not impossible, but, and this is a big but, 2K's community is so ingrained into the normalization of spending money, not just on packs, but spending $70 and then another 50 to 100 on release. It is so normalized that I I don't see it. I don't see it changing, but also the way 2K works with content creators, you know, there's a lot of content creators that don't want to lose their status as a 2K partner of sorts, right? Um, Maybe 2K gives them a lot of copies of the game they can give out, so they're increasing their subscriptions. Maybe they have a 2K logo, which helps also with their viewers and subscribers count. It's a partnership between content creators and 2K, and I think it's a little. I don't know if it's underlooked. I think people understand it in a general sense that 2K and the community, like by design, 2K likes to, be close with the community and its most viewed content creators. But that helps them a lot because of FOMO, fear of missing out, that a lot of people have, and content creators hyping up their game, which helps them a lot. And I guess that's the big difference between a game like NBA 2K and EA's Battlefront, the Star Wars Battlefront game is, yeah, EA might have had some content creators, but there's nowhere near as many as, say, NBA 2K, right? NBA 2K is almost a cultural game at this point. It's not just any, regular sports game, which is why, in my mind, for EA Live to make an NBA game, EA, what's it called? NBA Live, right? For them to make a new game to compete with 2K, it's going to take more than just for the game to be great on its own. They're going to have to build a community partnership of some sort, the same way that 2K does, to outcompete. But yeah, it's possible. Look, it's possible to make changes. The community can make changes, but it's not with these half-assed, like people saying they're quitting and then they're coming back and then they say they're quitting. How many YouTube videos have you seen with the title "I'm done with 2K"? And it's like every year, and then some guy opens $10,000 worth of packs. And he says he's done, and then 2 weeks later he's doing it again. Why? He got a lot of views. He got a lot of money, even though he spent a lot of money doing that. That is not the way to combat this stuff, right? Yeah. Enough of a riot. Enough people not buying the game and making enough noise. It's the only way. I don't see it happening. 2K is too smart. They're too smart with their community. We no longer just ship discs and walk away from them when they're done, said Kerry Hopkins, the Senior Vice President for Global Affairs at EA. The expectation for most of our games is for us to keep delivering live, dynamic content to continually evolve and deliver even more value for our players. With so much money at stake, companies often prioritize the parts of their games that use MTX. That incentive is a significant shift from sports games of the late 90s and early 2000s, when the emphasis was on improving gameplay and graphics to produce the most realistic sim possible. You remember those days? I do. Titles like 2K1 and Madden 03 remain among the most acclaimed ever made. Now, games in those very same franchises, which have no direct competition because of exclusive or expensive licenses, get middling reviews. NBA 2K24 wants you to open up your wallet and punishes you if you don't, one critic wrote for IGN, calling the game's MTX heinous. And if you don't know, 2K24 features 2 kinds of in-game currency. There's VC, which is virtual currency, and MTP, which is My Team Points, both of which can be purchased In the past, only VC could be purchased. MT was earned. For $4.99 US, a player can buy 21,000 My Team points or 15k VC. Discounts to encourage bigger purchases can produce 1,000,000 My Team points or 700k VC for $150. If this sounds convoluted, it is seemingly by design. The opaque process makes it harder for players to track how much they are spending. Entry-level cards, which cost the equivalent of about $1, includes bench warmers like Dennis Smith Jr., Jordan Nwora, and Malachi Flynn. Limited edition packs run as much as $50 and advertise a high chance of including NBA legends like Hakeem Olajuwon or Allen Iverson. The game occasionally promotes special offers to buy high-end player cards outright. A highly rated Victor Wembanyama, last season's unanimous Rookie of the Year, cost about $20. So, unfortunately, 2K did not comment on any parts here. Only EA people were okay to comment. So we can't really hear what 2K's opinion is on this stuff. Look, whatever they would say, even if Strauss, the chairman, CEO, even if he came forward and said, I mean, he there's nothing that's gonna stop this, right? It's people would have to come together in a way that it just seems so impossible because of how culturally important, how massive 2K is to casuals, to people that don't spend any money, to celebrities. NBA players talk about 2K all the time. Guess what? If you have aspirations of being a basketball player, you're probably going to want to play 2K as well, right? Yeah, it's the most realistic sim out. It's the only basketball sim out. It's very complicated, man. I mean, this article goes on to speak a lot about how serious this is. If I could, I'm going to continue. I'm going to be here for another hour, but there's a lot of important information that if you're a parent listening to this, you need to know that. You need to click on that. You need to read this. There is a lot of information here that kids just, their thought process is not about this, right? They're in the trap. And parents have to be the ones to get them out. There's an actual psychologist who specializes in video games that actually said there's been research to show that the exciting part isn't finding out what's in the box, but the part before you open the box. The little effects, hearing the sounds, watching the opening animations. That's the exciting part, and it's by design, right? The large audiences for sports games suggest that many players do enjoy the process of managing their card collections and building a successful team. When the next Madden or NBA 2K is released this year, millions of players will buy the new title, leaving all of their past player card behind. Enjoyed 2K24 and want to pick up NBA 2K25 this fall? You'll be starting from scratch. All of your players are basically made irrelevant because although you can still play the game, everyone moves on to the new one and all your money's gone. And I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not going to read no more. I will post a link in the description. Personally, being the lead mod at NBA 2K subreddit and my team subreddit, I have read a lot of awful stories of people that I don't know how much of it is a joke, how much of it is serious. People saying that, they've lost relationships because of it, or, they've used their life savings. They've used people admitting that they have a problem into how much money they've spent. And look, it's really hard. It's really hard, especially if somebody becomes a gambling addict. I mean, the worst I've ever gone was in FIFA, around 2017-ish, around those years, like 16, 17, 18. I played a lot of my team, and the most I've spent was a few hundred, and that was enough to scare me away permanently. I didn't play FIFA again until like 4 or 5 years later, to where it was very manageable to play without spending money, which to this day I still believe FIFA is, or EA's EFC, is one of the best sports games for card collectors to play without spending any money. And NBA 2K, unfortunately, is one of the worst. And it sucks because I'm such a big part of NBA 2K as the game, but also the community. I'm at the center of so much, being a community manager in literally the biggest community we have, which is the NBA 2K community on Reddit. It's hard to talk about because it's been talked about so much in so many ways by so many people. And look, the solution, there's only one solution, but I don't think we're ready for it. Not until NBA 2K as a game is messed up so bad that it's the only choice. And we've come close sometimes, right? There's some content creators that are leaving or left this year after the auction house being gone. Little things have happened, right? But it's not enough. It's not enough for just the My Team community to be in an uproar. It has to be the entire community having to say something. And I've noticed that, when some people of significance say something online, that there's other people that are like ready to take their place in case they leave or abandon the game. It's weird. There's some people that don't see the complications in continuing to play a game like this, even though 2K's been this way for many years now. They've gotten away with the most because of not the My Team Pack stuff, because FIFA and Madden, they were bad. They were really bad at one point as well. But the 2K also makes you have to spend money on your My Player. And that's the biggest difference, right? EA, you don't have to do that for any of your My Players. NHL, Madden, college football, FIFA. You don't spend money. You can change your build however you want. You can have as many builds as you want. You can level up by just playing. If 2K did that, oh my gosh, if it would be so amazing, but it's not gonna happen. There's no way. And like the last few episodes, I talked about us needing a respec option and how great it would be. There's even a less chance that they remove VC completely from your My Player. It's just not gonna happen. Yeah, so kind of a downer of an episode here. But once I saw this article, I knew I had to talk about things a little bit from my perspective. Somebody who's basically in the middle, right? I'm a gamer. I play 2K, and I also am. I talked to people that work at 2K. I know some of them. And it's, knowing a little bit about games, I feel for the developers because they're gonna take the punch for everything, right? People don't understand that it's not, the guy in the cubicle being told what to do. That's the issue here. I don't even think Mike Wang is the issue, right? They have a job to do. They have to meet a certain criteria, and if they don't, other people will. It's that simple. Nothing else to say. I think the game, I've already said this before, I think NBA 2K is such a fun game. If you can, for a second, not think about the VC and the microtransactions and having to put money into your My Player, And you just think about the gameplay, the shooting, the defending. For me, this year has been the most fun in a long time. I enjoy the gameplay. I want to see improvements, of course, but I really enjoyed it this year. The developers do a great job. It's just everything else around it. It's just everything else around it, and it's unfortunate, but I'm glad I spent half an hour talking about this. Hope you enjoyed the longer pod, kind of a ramble, but again, links to this and links to the fiscal year reports will be in the description. So have a look at that if you want. And hopefully next episode we can talk some 2K25. But if not, whatever it may be, take care. I'll see you on the next one.